So today we're going to take you through the 3 hottest and 3 nottest zip codes in Monmouth County based upon the average increase in sale price between 2020 and 2021. So let's check it out. So we've been running this report for about 10 years where we take all the towns in Monmouth County and we rank them based on how much the average sale price increased year over year. But we've never done it on video before, so I'm anxious to hear what you guys think about this. Make sure you subscribe down below, drop us some comments, anything that we missed, anything you think we should do another video on. But this is really important because whether you live in a town already or you're looking to buy in that town, you should know whether your town is leading the pack, middle of the pack, or straggling. And if you're buying, maybe you actually like the things on the bottom half of the list because they present a better value. So without further ado, let's get into the hot list. All right, starting off at number 3 on our hot list is Farmingdale, New Jersey. Farmingdale is a really small little agricultural town located within the agricultural section of Monmouth County. And it only has about 1,300 residents that live in the town, about 550 homes. The town used to be part of Howell Township and then in around 1903 carved off into its own municipality. But you might not have heard of the town, but between 2020 and 2021, the average home price, the sold price in that town, went from $400,000 to $530,000. That's a 32% increase for a town you might not have even heard of. So, what does it have going for it? It's got larger than average lot sizes, pretty affordable price range as well. And if you go to their main street, it feels like you've been transported into a Norman Rockwell painting. You've got the post office, the main street feel to it. And what I suggest you do is go there, try out Harvest, which is a great farm to table local restaurant, or check out Woody's Roadside Tavern. And if you go there, try the cowboy fries. And remember that I'm the one who told you. That leads us to number 2 on our hot list, which is Lake Como. And no, I'm not talking about the town in Italy where George Clooney and Madonna have houses. I'm talking about Lake Como, New Jersey, or otherwise known as South Belmar. Now, this town used to be part of Wall Township, and then around 1920 carved off and became its own borough. It only renamed itself Lake Como in about 2004, which they named after the lake that actually separates it from Spring Lake and Belmar to the town of Lake Como. So, why have you never heard of it? Well, again, it's a really small little town, only about 1,800 residents and about 750 homes. But again, between 2020 and 2021, the average home price increased 37% in Lake Como. That's going from $485,000 to $665,000 in 1 year. Now, why has that happened? Why all that interest? Well, beach houses, vacation properties, waterfront property has exploded post-COVID. And if you can't afford that $1 million, $2 million, $3 million price tag, what do? You look just a little bit further inland, and bingo, that's Lake Como. You've got a great Main Street feel that's starting to rival Bradley Beach and Ocean Grove, and pretty reasonable values whether you're looking for a summer bungalow or a full-time residence. All right, that takes us to number 1 on our hot list, which is BRIELLE, New Jersey. With a 50% increase in property values 2020 to 21, obviously BRIELLE's not a secret anymore. Now, BRIELLE is nestled between Point Pleasant Beach and Manasquan, right along the Manasquan River, and is also what used to be part of Wall Township. Back in the early 1920s, I believe it was, it carved off into its own municipality. But it is almost the epitome of Monmouth County, which is the entrance to the Jersey Shore. BRIELLE is a Jersey Shore beach town with full-time residents, with a top-tier school district, with the Manasquan River Golf Club, which is one of the most prestigious in the county, and your ability to ride your bike to the beach or to downtown Manasquan. It's pretty obvious why BRIELLE has taken off. All right, that takes care of our hot list, but I know that you stuck around for the not list. Of course you did. Everybody roots for the underdog. So let's see who's on the other end of that list. So leading off number 3 on our not list is AVON by the Sea. Ever heard of AVON? Well, if you haven't, check out our top beach town videos we shot last summer for you. Now, before you go thinking there's something wrong with AVON, let's put this in perspective. Home values in that town between 2020 and 21 still increased 3.4%, which is still a $50,000 increase in value for properties in that town because the average sale price in that town is $1.4 million. But still, why is it that that town hasn't kept pace with the rest of the county? Well, it's a very small town with not a lot of inventory to begin with in a normal market, and as we've had a compressed market post-COVID, there's not a lot of inventory for builders to pick from. There's an insatiable desire in that town for newer construction homes, considering most of the inventory there is older homes, including Victorian era homes. So as builders have less opportunity to buy those homes, knock them down and rebuild, there's not a product that's available to sell to the buyer who wants new construction. On top of the fact that construction costs have taken off and made it almost unbuildable for a lot of contractors. So what happens is when the product's not available that the buyer wants, the buyer looks elsewhere to a different town. You're going to find that lack of new construction inventory is a theme running through the other two NOT towns also. So I was shocked to hear that Spring Lake was number 2 on our NOT list, right here where I'm standing right now. Notoriously one of the best towns in Monmouth County, from their amazing schools to the iconic architecture to some of the best beaches at the whole of the Jersey Shore. But between 2020 and 2021, the average home price increased in Spring Lake by 3.4% to now a price of $2.85 million. So why is it not keeping pace with the rest of the county? Again, an insatiable new construction appetite for this town. And if there's less opportunities in the market for builders to be able to buy those homes, knock them down and rebuild, then it doesn't necessarily mean that that inventory that the buyer's looking for is there. Another interesting statistic that jumped out at us was that between 2020 and 2021, 30% fewer homes sold in Spring Lake than the year before. So the market's just absolutely compressed. And although usually lack of inventory means prices go up, again, if the type of product that the buyer wants to buy is not there, they just wait or they buy someplace else. But don't sleep on Spring Lake, because as construction prices start to normalize, you're going to see this town rise again to the top of the list for sure. And if you're looking for value, this might represent a good value right now as long as you can afford the $2.5 million price tag. All right, you made it all the way to the end and your reward is an absolute shocker. I didn't believe this town ended up at the top of our list, so much so that I had to double and triple check the math. But number 1 on our NOT list for 2020 to 21 is Fairhaven. Crazy. Feels like half our clientele wants to move to Fairhaven right now. Between its close-knit community, its ideal location right along the Navesink, between Rumson and Red Bank, your ability to walk to most of the things in town, ride your bike. It's such a great little town. It's so surprising to me that this only had a 1.9% increase in property value between 2020 and 2021. So why? Now the same story you heard with Avon and Spring Lake applies here. Fairhaven's a fairly small town with a huge appetite for new construction, and that market has contracted dramatically. You're looking at 70% fewer homes available in Fairhaven right now than were there a year ago. And between 2021 and the year before that, it was a 30% contraction. So there's just nothing available for builders to buy or new construction opportunities for the buyers to buy themselves. But as long as you can afford the entry price point of being over $1 million, Fairhaven represents a great value, because again, maybe it hasn't run up like some of these towns you have at the top of the hot list, and it presents a good value as the market continues to appreciate in the future. All right, that's our list, so sound off in the comments down below. Let us know why you think these NOTs are NOTs, and if we missed any of the reasons why the hot list is as hot as it is. Recently, we've been helping a lot more of you move from New York, so if this sounds like you, give us a call at 201-596-6236. And as always, thanks for watching.